Welcome everyone. I am so delighted to see you here, and we have about half the number so far who are registered already present. And I want to honor those who arrive on time, and also to be sure that we have all of the time that we planned for this incredible program. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Rabbi Nadia Gross. I'm a co-founder and the chief programming officer of Yerusha, um, and this organization which is hosting this program. We are, I can't tell you how honored I am, and we are, to host this program, this dialogue in poetry with Michal, Rubin, and Basman al-Derawi. Full disclosure, Michal is a dear friend of mine whose poetry has long given voice to the words in my heart, which I didn't have the courage to express out loud. I have known about her work with Basman since they met, and I have been so inspired by their courage, both of them, and the strength of their commitment to speaking their truth. While their words and the images that they share may be difficult at times to hear, their art form invites the heart to open and the ears to listen. And after we hear the poetry, there will be time in small breakout groups to share what has arisen in your hearts and minds, and then we'll return to the full group for questions and answers with our poets. So allow me, please, first to offer a brief introduction. Basman al-Derawi, also published under Basman Derawi, is a Palestinian physiotherapist, writer, and poet from Gaza. He has contributed dozens of stories and poems to the online platform We Are Not Numbers and other platforms, including Arab Lit, Mondo Weiss, and Vivamost. He's also participated as a co-author in a book, Light in Gaza, Writings Born of Fire, published in 2022, and the Arabic poetry anthology, Gaza, the Land of Poetry, from 2021. Michal Rubin was born and raised in Israel and has been living in Columbia, South Carolina for the past 34 years. She's a physiotherapist, a cantor, and a poet. In her writing, she wrestles with the moral dilemmas of the Israeli occupation and of the continuous war in Gaza and its devastating impact. She lives with the complexity of having grandparents who were murdered in the Holocaust and being a member of a nation that continues the oppression and killing of the other. Her poetry was published in numerous journals, and she is the author of a chapbook, Home Visit, and 2 manuscripts, There Are Days That I Am Dead, and The Bones Stay Dry. And a book of their dialogue in poetry will soon be published, titled Your Stories Look Me in the Eyes. So I am pleased to welcome Michal and Basman and leave it to you now.
Thank you, Rabbi Nadia. The first poem I'm going to read is At the Door of Jannah. Today, Isa welcomes Auda at the door of Jannah. They have the hug they missed when a rocket took Isa so quickly. They see the beauty of Palestine that they have never seen on earth. In paradise, the aching still grips their chest and throats. Should they think with angels? Can they sob and shed tears in Jannah? They cry over Gaza, over the orphaned children who will know their babas only by photos and stories, while the rockets and bombs stir their hair and blankets and interrupt their dreams. They cry while Imad evacuate a third time, searching for a tent in Rafah. They see Abdullah, Khalil, everyone. They still see everything in Gaza. No blackout interrupts Jannah. Look, Mahmoud and Muhammad search for water and flour. Look how crowded Deir al-Balah is. For a little break in the mood, Isa smiles and pokes Hoda. Look, Basman is sitting in a corner, holding his phone, crying and smiling. He must be writing a poem about us. The second poem I'm going to read is titled Rule is Mylandia. My great-great-grandfather, times 100, lived in London once, he and his family. My gut told me that Britain is my land, so I killed the king, expelled the British ambassadors, and returned my people to the land of our ancestor. I felt the rush of adrenaline. I declared a new Ismailandia and Ismailandian Defense Force. The surviving British ambassadors call disaster their Nakba, but I call it Independence Day. I felt the rush of adrenaline. In my new state, with a new undefeated army, I built an elegant mortality, like an engineer designing a modern building, not a child playing with Legos. I felt the rush of adrenaline. My IDF, the most moral of an army in the world, gave a fair warning. I shall kill all who pretend to defend Britain against me. Those who call me occupier. I and my God know this is my land, my history. Mine is the one and only true democracy in all of Europe. As others dirty their hands with other systems, I grant myself an award, best democracy in the region. Every full-blooded Ismailandian is a first-class citizen. The half-blood is a second. The no-blood is a third. The remaining Brits are on the lowest rung of my ladder. I'm not so religious. I'm not sure if God hears me speaking his tongue or smiles at me as his chosen one. Yet, I feel the rush of adrenaline. International law whispers that I'm an occupier, that I am apartheid. Human rights organizations say I'm violent and barbaric, but they cannot move a stone. The powerful fear me. I serve their interests, and they serve me with their veto. I feel the rush of adrenaline. Don't fear words. I kill no one. Those who stand in the way of my bayonets and bullets disrupt the peace and slay themselves. I feel the rush of adrenaline. Thank you.
A child's night, a quilt. I lie not alone. The recording of Eichmann's trial, a bedtime story. I lie with my faded blanket, hugging Holocaust stories in the company of testimonies, pained voices, children brutalized, mothers watching, one boiled potato to be shared. I lie with their hunger. I lie with drawings of butterflies. There are no butterflies here in the ghetto, a poem says. I settle into a place where suffering is a virtue, no longer alone, no longer cold, wrapped in a quilt of Holocaust, a quilt or a child's night, or I lie not alone. My father's bones. You left, and there was nothing but absence, permeating the hollowness, like the spaces between the bones where flesh used to live, ideas remain, they rattle, a futile drumming against the living brutality of today in what was Holy Land. They rattle, and the dog howling over the pile, debris, remnants of a demolition. They rattle. You left without explanation, a shallow intake of air, and then there was nothing but absence. Unattached to the flesh of your children, orphaned ideas remained. They scroll a homily on justice and equality, rattling a futile drumming against the dry, strewn bones, over the debris of demolished homes, over the tents of the evicted, over the stumps of olive trees. And the bones stay dry in the valley, in the land that used to be holy. These 4 poems, 2 and 2, are poems that we wrote individually, not before we met each other. And now we're going to present 4 sets of 2 poems that were written in response to each other. I will start. Words inside my body. When I hear you say, I am from Gaza, I fear my blindness. When I hear you say, I'm from Gaza, I fear your blindness. When I hear you say, I'm from Gaza, I grasp you are alive to tell me more. When I hear you say, I am from Gaza, my shame veils my presence, my face, my ears, my mind are draped with your story. When I hear you say, I'm from Gaza, I pale. Words inside my body flutter. I'm not bad. I'm not bad. I live and I don't know what to say. I think of a book I must write. When I hear you say, I am from Gaza, I want to imagine the unimaginable. Show me the pictures of your street before and after. Name it. Name your neighbors before and after. When I hear you say, I am from Gaza, I think I must paint the screams I don't hear, and that there isn't enough love nor enough red paint, and what color to use for the silence between cries.
When I hear you say, I'm from Israel, my blood boils. I take a deep breath, the only weapon I have actually, whispering to myself, ready for the war. When I hear you say, I'm from Israel, I don't assume the devil sits in front of me smirking, but when I hear you say, I'm from Israel, I expect to see my blood in your hands, cold and justified. But you open your mouth, then no blood is seen. When I hear you say, I'm from Israel, and you unzip your chest, handing me your heart, same hearts, same humanity, I breathe again, I almost cry. So our next dialogue is titled, I Was in Love with October. So I was in love with October. In October's, the summer said farewell. A shivering cold stood at the door. A young man walked the streets walked the street of Omar al-Mukhtar. He turned toward Gaza Sea. The cold breeze touched his face. In that moment, October was a poem. In October, I taste the freedom of movement. I walk in a line rain on the streets of Zurich. I see the high reach of skyscraper. I learn the difference between lake and sea, not from a map in a besieged city. Mamma mia, I ate ravioli for the first time. In this moment, I close my eyes and live forever. In October's, the olive trees wait for the hands to turn their harvest into a golden nectar. يا ظريف الطول sang while kids played, then gathered around for oven fresh مسخن, rich in olive oil and spices. In that moment, no tree in the world was happier. In October, the olives die without touch. The hands in Gaza are amputated. The kids no longer play. The singer is assassinated. The gold nectar no longer flows. The genocide turns 1 year old.
October. Someone reports news on the radio. I turn the volume up. All I hear is inner chorus, moans crawling on the floor, living forms wrapping themselves around my feet. I want to free myself from the grip of the high-pitched lament, but I'm chained to the cause which come from so far away, hang on the walls, in and out of picture frames, enter through open windows without breeze. They creep in, lurk, and skulk in October. I mourn the tomorrows under the rubble. I mourn stained clothes and still bodies. I mourn thousand coffins. I mourn unburied limbs. I mourn the unspoken. I mourn the spoken in October. I cut up an apple, peel a tangerine, ashamed as I relish these words in October. The next dialogue. Just a quick word. I was diagnosed with lung cancer. So this starts the poem with that. Final diagnosis, lung mass, 2.1 centimeter, right lower lobe, pulmonary nodule, suspicious for primary lung cancer. Right lung needle biopsy. Pulmonary adenocarcinoma. I opened my lung to the stories, to the words, the songs, to the late night recaps of rubbled days. I opened my lung, a guest house, to your yesterday's scraped heart, to the single boot on the road missing a sole and a foot. Objects left without owners, a community of Shiva stories, pebbles that were laid on graves. There, in my lung, together, they formed an amalgamated lump, a nodule spiculated and nobulated, with hubris presence, choking the land of my breath, as you choke, unable to breathe in your taken land.
In my taken land, I opened my lungs to their maximum extension and beyond, to the last molecules of oxygen, after they burn the air, to a story that tells my history, to a song that tells I am here, to a poem tells me why I should be here. I open my lungs to their maximum extension and beyond. Only smoke occupies, only the odor of corpses, only the stench of worms from the unhealed open wounds, only the smell of a graveless death. I open my lungs to their maximum extension and beyond, choked while climbing a mountain. Before I remember, I am amputee, breathless, while creating a new skin to cover my fear, exhausted by the image of malignant mass of metal penetrating my hand while overstretching to a new friend. So our next dialogue is we are keeping your promise. There is a small intro before going into the poem. This is the intro. When asked by a report what total victory means, the Prime Minister answers, it's like you took a glass cup and hit it with a hammer. Now you have shreds, then you hit the shreds again and again until you are left with the squads or individuals. And that's what we are doing. This is by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. عود الحو 36 عيسى 36 Iman Derawi 41 The Keba is all red. High five God. We have finished them all. Ilya Abu Holi 2 years old. Muhaymin Abu Holi 9 years old. Asir Abu Holi 14 years old. In Kadash, I mourn the soldiers. I cry for my own blood. But don't worry, God. We will keep killing the Maliks. There is no concentration camp. We block all the gates, the ground, the sea, the air. There is no blockade. We control the water, the sea, the power, the fuel. There is no Holocaust. We have killed thousands so far, not millions. Taysir Abu Holi, 43 years old. Mohab Abu Holi, 16 years old. We wiped the whole family from the registry. We are keeping your promise, God. The civilized world is keeping your promises too.
My response. Mikvah, a ritual bath or bathing place for purification in accordance to Jewish law. Merriam-Webster Dictionary. It is murky water I immerse in, where my body is painted with howls of buried words I give into, becoming a canvas, a scroll unveiling the discarded as I stretch my body, extend my skin to make room for endless faces, names, stories, pointing fingers, footprints. My body, a prayer scroll, emerging from the depth of water, consecrated by truth, as if there is a you to meet the prayers. Meet the truth. Hold a vigil to a failed creation, as if there is. And we want to end with, at least at this section, with one poem each. Basman?
Thank you, Michal. This is when the genocide is over. When the genocide is over, I will walk and talk to, searching for my friends' graves, thinking of words to write for Iman, Auda, Isa. Maybe an apology, but not on behalf of the world. When the genocide is over, I will meet my friends. We will cry our postponed tears that this is hand rushed away from us and the survival instincts we cursed before sleeping. Then we will sing. When the genocide is over, I will go home. I will count the neighbors' children, foolishly hoping the number doesn't change, that my memory doesn't fail me. I will fall asleep beside what's left of a window and the dream of their irritating noise.
A year ago, I was in Israel and I walked on the streets where there were remains of protesting posters, littered streets. Words litter the street. I step on a sidewalk, on words. The government of destruction rips the people. More footsteps, more words, more destruction. And no, I'm not sorry I was born inside these streets. Not sorry I believed in their warmth. Not sorry life moved from one side to another. Not sorry I write these words. Not sorry that I saw blue sky even when down below it was dark. Not sorry I bought one too many. Not sorry for the morning tears. Not sorry for leaving home. Not sorry I speak these words. Not sorry for my loud silence. Not sorry for wanting to go back. Not sorry for not going back. Not sorry that you don't get me. Not sorry that I can't make you understand. No, not sorry I say these words. Not sorry I call the names of murdered Palestinians. No, not sorry I make you see amputated children. Not sorry I hold the two flags together. Not sorry I holler, I rage. Not sorry I say Kaddish for children under the rubble. Not sorry I speak the unspoken. Not sorry I write what I see so you can see it too. Not sorry, not sorry, not sorry.
Thank you, both of you. Just want to invite all of us to take a few deep breaths, because I don't know about all of you, but I found myself holding my breath an awful lot in these last moments. So just feeling the aliveness that we are. And we are going to invite you into small discussion groups now. There'll be 3 or 4 in each of the rooms. I ask you to accept the invitation to the breakout rooms. And there'll be 20 minutes for you in together in these breakout rooms to share what is alive in you in these moments, in this moment, from what we've heard and witnessed, and hope. And really, my prayer is that each person in the group has ample time to express yourself, to be witnessed, and to witness the others in your group. And then when we come back, there'll be plenty of time for questions directed at our poets. So please accept the invitation and we'll see you back in 20 minutes. Here they come.
All my kids are here.
Wonderful. So I believe that we are all back. Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you had productive conversations amongst yourselves. And we want to give you an opportunity to share your questions, ask your questions of Michal and Basman. My request for you will be that you, if you have a question, that you use the electronic hand raising at the bottom of your screen. If you click on the react button, you'll see that you can raise your hand. That will put you in order because otherwise I will miss people. And let's do our best, please, to be lean with your questions so that the dissertations come from the poets and not the people asking questions. And before we take the first question or comment, Michal, there was something that you wanted to share with everyone.
Yes. So first, I want to honor and share my gratitude and Basman's gratitude to Donna Bister, who might be here still, who is the publisher of our next book. And I think also the courage that it takes to publish this kind of work. So thank you, Donna. I don't know where you are, but if you want to talk, I'd love to hear from you. That's one. Most of you probably don't know, but Basman and I are in a group of Palestinian and Jewish poets that meets once every 3 weeks. And one of the things that we've brought up was the question of power differential. The fact that right now there is an imbalance of power. And we wanted to make sure, Basman and I wanted to make sure so we understand, or the readers of the book that we come out understand that we are trying to really make the field understandable in this way, and I'll read it. This collection of the new book is a project of co-resistance against the Israeli occupation of Palestinian land, against apartheid, and against settler colonial structures of domination. We recognize the UN affirmed inalienable right of the Palestinian people and affirmed the right of all peoples to live in freedom and dignity. So Nadia, you will
Thank you. Yes,
on the
I will.
moderating.
Thank you, Michal. And
Yeah.
Stephanie is has our first question.
Hi. There are two things. One, Michal, hello. I did not know about your diagnosis, and I'm still reeling from that. So I need to say that. And I just wanted to ask if there is a written form of the dialogue that you did today, because I want to see the words. I want to hear them again. It was just so moving. That's what I wanted to say.
Yes, there will be. Reb Nadia just asked us to send, we will send a document with all the poems. So you will get it as soon as the recording comes out, it will be sent with the documents. And thank you for being here.
Thank you, Stephanie. And I see Stephen Booth Najab.
That working?
It is.
Wow. I'm almost speechless. Thank to both of you. Amazing words and hearts and feelings to share. Michal, I remember running around Jerusalem finding those posters. Lots of questions. But my question for you is two things. One is, as you've done this work in whatever form you've done it in, I don't know if this is the first time you're doing this particular dialogue or not, but obviously you've been doing this work for a bit. I'm curious what responses have been gratifying for you, and have there also been more challenging responses that people have had to your work?
You're asking both of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Basman, go for it.
I mean, I met Michal accidentally in a poetry workshop, and it wasn't actually easy for a Palestinian guy from Gaza to get in touch with an Israeli poet. But actually, I'm thankful for Michal because she was opening the door, and she actually, because the poem When I Hear You Say actually based on a true story. She actually sent me the poem, and she sent me that, and I actually at that moment I felt her compassion, her support, and that's what pushed me to just respond to her and open the door. I mean, to be honest, it was a lot of hesitation. It was a lot of moment of nervousness, but I feel like if it's not now, then when? It's the time to do so. And actually, she was very welcoming. She was very supportive, and she just opened the door for that. So you can go ahead, Michal.
So, I was writing for a little bit I was writing, and then at some point I said, I need to engage with Palestinian poetry, actually poets. And I wrote to a whole bunch of people. And one of the people who actually responded is here, Naomi Foyle, and I want to thank her here in public, who is an editor and a translator of Palestinian poetry, and she helped me a lot with making connections before I met Basman. And the previous book is actually my engaging, because most of the Palestinians didn't want to engage with me. They actually said, no, not now. I can't right now. I can't. So I engage with Palestinian poetry, and the previous book has a lot to do with Palestinian poetry and me responding to it. So when Basman said yes, it was almost like miraculous for me, because he was the first Palestinian who I would say had the courage, Basman, to talk to me. And the truth is that when I meet somebody, I keep wanting to say, I'm not bad, I'm not bad. That's true. I'm not hating you, or, whatever it is. So, so for me, there was incredible hope to meet. And in a peculiar way, I think I am an amazing ambassador for Israel in that way. As weird as it sounds in my criticism, I think I'm really representing a part of Israel that I like and I respect. And open, I see, it seems to open the other's possibility of hearing that kind of Israel. So
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Other questions or comments that want to be shared with Michal and Basman? Even things that came up in your small groups that you feel is valuable to share here with the larger group.
You probably can't see, but there's somebody whose ID just says iPhone is raising his hand. But he's muted and it doesn't look like he can unmute himself.
Oh, well, I don't see it, but I do see Ken Rosenstein. So we'll go to Ken now.
Thanks, Reb Nadia. Well, I just want to express my profound appreciation, and I'm very moved by both of your poems, and it's nice to meet you, Basman, and Michal, it's great to see you, and yeah, I was just very moved by the evocativeness, the eloquence, the associations, the depth of the depth of feeling of both of you. And if I can just share one suggestion that came up in our group, if that's okay. Stephen, can I relay what the idea was that you had, with your permission, about publicizing the work of Michal and Basman?
Sure.
Can I share that with them?
Certainly. Yeah.
Or yes, Stephen, I was saying, I hope that your book has a wide readership, and Stephen was saying, well, the way to have a really wide circulation is for you, both of you, to do a podcast, to be on social media, and I think that would be a great suggestion if you agree and you're able to do this. And I wish you much success in your future collaboration, and coming out with the book, and may it be circulated to as many people as possible. And again, thank you so much to both of you. And Michal, wishing you Shana Tova.
thank you.
Thank
Sure.
you,
Thank
Ken.
you.
Thanks, Nadia.
Thank you. Yes. Do we have other questions or comments that want to be shared?
I'm sorry, I can't find the place to raise my hand. Can you hear me?
Oh, Naharia, I see you.
I just want to say that I really appreciated having the shame that I feel about what my people are doing, to have that expressed and validated. It's so painful to watch this small group of right-wing people having control over what's going on and just making such a big mess and doing such damage. And yeah, it's very painful. And I don't feel like there's a whole lot that I can do as an American to change it. And, you know, we do the little things we can. We support the organizations that build relationships between Israelis and Palestinians, and send, you know, help send food to Gaza and those sorts of things. But it doesn't change what the governments are doing. And yeah, so, and I'm, yeah, grateful that more people are talking to each other. So thank you.
Thank you, Naharia. And Michal and Basman, feel free to respond if there's anything, but I see another hand up, so I'm going to call on Hedy.
Hello. I'm just so moved that I don't have many words. Your soulful sharing was profound, and I thank you for the relationships you're building, for the meetings you're having, for the way you are courageously and deeply embracing this very challenging time. Thank you both and your group of poets. And I'm very glad the poems will come out because I missed a lot of what you were saying, but I felt you deeply. And I went on a journey with the Sisterhood of Salam Shalom to southern Spain, and we were with Aziz Abu Sarah and Elad Vazana, an Israeli and a Palestinian, and the two of them hold the vision between the river and the sea. Israelis and Palestinians are safe and free. And so I'm just holding that possibility and putting it here between all of us. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let me just introduce a little funny thing. It's not so funny, but so I'm not a physiotherapist. I'm a psychotherapist. So I just want to
Apologies.
know that I saw a sign from the river to the sea. Only therapy will set us free.
Hi, I can't figure out how to raise my hand electronically.
Okay, all right, I see you, Mr. iPhone, and we have one other person before you. So I'm going to bring Mary Rita in and then I'll bring you in. Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. I shared this in my group, and I was also honored to be with Donna Bister in the group. So that was also a gift. I love poetry and am expressing myself more and more. But what you're sharing in your dialogue invited me to listen with my whole body. And that was so powerful for me. And I thank you. And I do I long to have the book or the words in front of me, but there's something about being able to look in your eyes and in each of your eyes as you spoke, and I could feel your heart, and that will never leave me. And I want to say that I will take that with me as I try to do the work and help people listen and do the work of dialogue, so that I can take, I hope that I can bring more light, because you too brought great light into my heart today. So thank you. And we said to Donna, we hope there might be some ways that as people read the poems, there might be a few where there can be some audio poems that are also there, so that people can experience hearing the dialogue and how powerful it is. So thank you. And to Barty, this has been a blessed time.
Thank you, Mary Rita. Thank you. And the gentleman on the iPhone, I'm going to bring you in and please tell us your name.
Hi, I'm Mark. I'm a cousin of Michal's.
Oh,
And Basman, one of your poems ended with people in Gaza speaking and saying, "Oh, we see Basman. Maybe he's writing a poem about us." I, you're the first person. You're the first person that I've spoken with, who I assume that has contact with people in Gaza. Is that correct?
Again, have what?
That you have contact, you speak with people who are in Gaza directly.
Yeah,
Your family.
yes.
I
Yeah.
can't imagine what that's like. In other words, you can get through by phone call.
Mm-hmm. First of all, this poem. Okay, go ahead.
No, I just wanted, if you wanted to share anything about your experience being in touch with them, I would like to hear.
Yeah, yeah, of course. But let me just speak a little bit about this poem. This poem is called "At the Door of Jannah," and Jannah means paradise. It's in Arabic. In Arabic, it means Jannah. And in this poem, I imagine two of my best friends, Isa and Oda. They were actually killed uh, in this genocide, and I imagine them in because they killed not at the same time. Isa was killed in November and Oda was killed in January. So I imagine their meeting in heaven and how they can see Gaza and the people and their friend, which myself is one of them, from the heaven. And that's why I ended when they just see me writing something about them. So this is about the poem. About my connection to Gaza, I mean, like, I grew up in Gaza, and I actually, it happened that I was in Egypt for a physiotherapy training in the 7th of October. So I was here in Egypt, and my whole family was in Gaza. And the situation the situation was and still is beyond horrible. And actually, also in November, I lost Isa, one of my best friend. In January, I lost Auda, and I lost my younger sister, Iman, along with her family, her husband and her 4 sons, which the oldest son is under the age of 16. And they were killed in an area which is supposed to be a safe zone. And some of my family were able to flee here in Egypt, and the rest of my family were still in Gaza. They struggle with everything. They forced to move to the south. There is no enough tents. There is, of course, a forced starvation and famine imposed on the people of Gaza. So, like, all the pictures and the scenes from Gaza are real, actually. Even if the Israeli government try to convince that it's not real, but it is real. And I mean, I don't know if there's nothing else I can say about the situation, but it is literally, there is no word to describe how horrible the situation is in Gaza right now. So, yeah, that's it.
The only thing I can say is it's connected to one of Michal's poems. I'm so sorry about what my government is doing to your people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Michael.
Hi, everyone. Well, first of all, when I was listening to Basman's poem, you brought up about the people going for water. It made me think about how water is life and how it is regulated by the Israelis in the Palestinian regions and how terrible that is, and how it's not really advertised that much or talked about that much, and how you said at the end of that poem about how how Bosman is watching and writing poetry. And I thought, wow, being true to oneself, how much better can you get than that? and I appreciate your poetry, so thank you. And Michal, I really was moved by your poem, I'm Sorry. As a member of the Philadelphia chapter of Combatants for Peace, we're in touch with Palestinians quite a bit, and we have pictures of the devastation in Gaza and the West Bank. And I just wanted to say, you really touched my heart in that poem. And I look forward to the book the two of you are going to put together. So thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. Mary Rita?
Just a little. I'm looking at Haiti because I taught last fall a course called Building Bridges, and I will be teaching it again, and probably another course that's related to it. And I learned building bridges and crossing the bridge from Haiti a long time ago. And as I was listening to the last two questions, I thought how much I want to use, even if it's one poem or one dialogue in that class. So as I teach those who are with me to listen through the eyes of the other person, through the experience of the other person, to walk around the neighborhood and the whole experience. You do that enough and you learn how to listen differently. You can't be running dialogues in your head about yourself. So I also want to say, you know, for those who get Yerusha's emails, there will be classes coming up that will give you an opportunity to learn how to do a dialogue where you can cross the bridge the way Basman and Michal have been doing, and to be able to take this out into the world too.
Thank you, Mary Rita. Thank you, thank you. Let's see. All right, we have time for a few. Lina, yes, please.
Thank you, Rep. Nadia. Thank you so much for the poetry and for your courage and humanity. So many people are talking about wanting to get you out to a wider audience, and I agree that we need to see more and experience more examples of dialoguing and friendship across this horrible divide. But I wonder if you have any hesitation about how wide of an audience you might really want, if there's any sense of danger or fear in having a really wide audience. And thank you again.
Basman, do you want to take it or do you want me to start?
Yeah, you can start.
The introduction to the book that I wrote, co-resistance, when I read, you know, I would say that that was me getting out of the closet completely. Like I'm out there with that statement. And I think it was a shift for me at that moment when I said, when for me was like, you got to do this. This is what this is about. And you can't be quiet. You can't do it quietly because then it's not, then it doesn't do what it needs to be doing. So my sister, I don't know if she's still here, but she's in Israel, but she was attending this, said to me, be careful what the Israelis know about you, about, you know, if they find out about you. I don't know. I'm not scared, but I was scared for Basman more than for myself. So Basman,
Yeah,
that's for you.
actually, okay. Thank you, Michal. Actually, there was a lot of hesitations, and there's still a lot of, because we don't know when the book is out what is going to happen, but we just decided to take the risk, of course. And also, I'm not here to label, but also since the beginning, Michal was showing how she is in the co-resistance. Actually, that's why I have like the courage to take this journey. I mean, like, I'm sorry, I'm not labeling, but maybe if it wasn't, if she was a different person, if she was like, I don't want to say, I mean, like, I usually don't share the stage with Israeli because we have like a different point of views and very distant and but in this experience, in this relationship, we found like a common ground, if that's the right term to use. That's why we take like the courage, and I think now it's the needed time to take such a courage because I don't know. I mean, now it's at the genocide, it's at the peak, so it's time now. It's time to move. It's time to take action for me. So if not while my people is dying, then when? This is the point.
Thank you.
Thank you
You're
both.
welcome.
Thank you, Lina, for that question. That was an important question. So as we are coming in for a landing, we can take one more question, or we're going to come to our few words of closing, and then Michal and Basman will pray us out, as so to speak, with a final dialogue in poetry. And as I don't see any hands going up, I'm going to just say to you all.
Rev Nadia, I see somebody waving a hand.
Oh, somebody's waving a hand.
Azra.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I couldn't get the raising hand symbol, so I'm physically raising my hand.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, I don't see everybody, so thanks for that, Lina.
Well, thank you for Lina. So Assalamu alaikum, Basman, and Shalom, Michal, and Michal, prayers for your health. Thank you for sharing your diagnosis with us. I think both of your poems and all the poetry you shared were so powerful. And truly, it is reaching out to each other and learning, getting to know each other, that we find common ground and work toward peace. So I do laud both of you for coming forward. Like Bassam said, if not now, then when? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and alaikum
Thank
salam.
you.
Thank
you.
I want to, be a little spontaneous because I want to share something about the connection between us, but I'm like improvising for a minute. Basman, there's a poem that you wrote that I cry every time I read it. I wonder if you would mind reading it. Do you know which one it is? All Naked to You?
I mean, I guess it's the one
But you don't
about
have
like
to.
all naked to
what-
you. Is that the one?
Yeah. Or I can
Yeah,
read
I
your poem.
can.
Can you find
Okay,
it?
you can read it.
No.
I will
Can
look.
you find it?
Okay, I will look at
So
it.
I
again.
just want to share for the group and let you know that we met before I was diagnosed. And by the way, I'm okay now. So does everybody know that I had surgery and I'm okay? And so Basman and I were communicating all while I was going through whatever I was going through. Did you find it?
Yeah, I find it. Would you
So
like me to read it?
yes, please.
Okay. All naked to you. I'm all naked to you, God. Hold my Jewish friend's lung in my hand, praying. There is a lump inside. It doesn't belong here. Expanding, occupying the space of the little alveoli. I'm all naked to you, God, carrying all the questions on my head, praying. All I know is there are no synonyms in all humanity's name for the occupation but cancer. I'm all naked to you, God, wearing my heart on my sleeve, praying. All the blood around, but can our hearts find a small room for humanity? All cancer around, but will an escape breath find a little space for healing?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Michal.
Thank you so much, both of you. Before you close with your final dialogue, I just want to thank everyone here for joining us today. I want to thank you for your generosity. Thanks to your generosity, more than $500 will be sent tomorrow to the World Central Kitchen that is providing hot meals in Gaza, and that much also to Basman to help support him and his family while they're living in exile. And that is such a gift for me to be able to offer that through all of you. So I wanted to acknowledge that. And I also want to acknowledge that we have now heard, both in poetry and in response to a question, the names of Basman's dear friends and family members who he's lost in these last years. And our response, our Jewish response, would be with the Kaddish. But I'm aware that many of us here on this in this gathering today are about to enter into Yom Kippur in the middle of the week. And on Yom Kippur Day, we have the Yizkor service, a time where we remember all the lives that have been lost, and not just those of our own family members, but those lives that have been lost through this senseless war and in so many other parts of the world as well. So I want to invite all of us to carry those names with us, to carry Basman's heart with us into our Yizkor service this coming Thursday. And thank you all once again. Michal and Basman, you'll close us out.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all. So our closing dialogue is, you don't need your glasses, Santa. Do you see that black cloud over there, Santa? There used to be a child from Gaza, waiting for a present, waiting to go out with his father to the unknown soldiers' square, to ride the little cars there, to go to the beach, to play with the sand and the waves, to buy a cup of corn, then to go home, to sleep, under the sound of the buzzing, hovering warplanes, the ones that a child thought were a part of the sky, the sounds of the universe. Did he tell you about his dream before he slept? What were they? Did he dream about living, growing old? Or maybe like other children, he told you that children in Gaza doesn't grow old. You don't need to put on your glasses, Santa. See that black clouds over there, the one that rose up from the bombing just a few hours ago. Under it lie the murdered bodies of the child, his father, his mother, and his siblings. Under it lie the toys, the house, and the whole neighborhood, and an unanswered list of hopes and dreams.
Of holy names. There is Santa, Basman. There is Abraham and Moses. We call on cruel invocation as I hear your story. Sit Shiva for life's brutal humor. I gather my faith as a bundle of hollow fires, cold in their disappointing emptiness. Words disperse into the oblivion of death. You see blind Santa, I see dead Moses or Abraham or holy books. Yours and mine piled on the table, lifeless. If there was an Abraham, would there be a worthy garden to spare from God's wrath? I sit Shiva 7 days, months, years, generations, endless, consoling, sink into the sea of Gaza, swallowed with the bodies of the unburied. Thank you for being here.
Thank you all. Thank you.